All right, so today we're diving deep into Colleen Hoover's Ugly Love.
Ooh, yeah, this one is intense.
It is buckle up because this book takes us on a whirlwind romance between Tate and Miles.
They're a couple bound by this friends with benefits agreement.
Yeah, and as you can imagine, things get really complicated really fast.
Oh, absolutely. So we start off with Tate, who is a nursing student.
Mm-hmm.
She's moving in with her brother Corbin in San Francisco.
Okay.
And she does not expect to be so attracted to Corbin's best friend and roommate, Miles.
Who just so happens to be an airline pilot.
Yes, with a very brooding demeanor.
And a mysterious past.
Yes, always a good combination.
So there are definitely sparks flying right away.
For sure.
But there's a catch.
Big time Miles is not looking for anything serious at all.
Yeah, he makes that very clear.
Right. He proposes this physical relationship only.
And he lays down the law with these two rules.
Yeah, no questions about the past.
And absolutely no expectations for the future.
Exactly. So Tate thinks she can handle this.
She's like, okay, I got this.
Yeah. She agrees to this very unusual arrangement.
And that's how it all begins.
It is Chapter 1 introduces us to Tate's perspective.
Okay.
And she's clearly drawn to Miles, but she's also a little cautious, you know?
Right.
He knows he's emotionally guarded.
She can sense that.
Mm-hmm. And then in Chapter 2, Miles takes Tate to a party.
Oh.
And there's so much attraction between them, but he's still really distant, almost cold.
So it's like push and pull.
Totally. And of course, this makes Tate even more curious about his past.
Oh, yeah. What is he hiding?
Right. Then in Chapter 3, we shift to Miles's point of view.
Okay.
But 6 years in the past.
Whoa.
Yeah. So Hoover starts weaving in this backstory.
I love when authors do that.
Me too. It's
Right.
so intriguing.
So who do we meet in the past?
We meet Rachel. This is the girl Miles fell deeply in love with.
Okay.
But it's forbidden love. Their parents are actually getting married.
What? That's crazy.
I know. It's like a modern-day Romeo and Juliet.
Wow. So their love story is already super intense.
Very. And then Chapter 4 reveals that Rachel is pregnant. Oh my gosh, a secret pregnancy.
Yeah, things are definitely heating up.
So what do?
Well, in Chapter 5, despite their family's disapproval, they decide to keep the baby.
Wow.
They welcome their son into the world, and they find this fragile happiness together.
But this is ugly love.
Exactly.
So I have a bad feeling about this.
You should... Chapter 6 brings a tragic accident,
Oh no.
and Miles has to make an impossible choice.
What kind of choice?
He has to choose to save Rachel or their son.
Oh my God, that is just devastating.
It is, and this event is clearly the root of all of his emotional baggage in the present.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, so Chapter 7 shows us the aftermath of the accident,
Okay.
and sadly their son didn't survive.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It is, and this loss just completely shatters Miles.
Understandably so.
He's consumed by guilt and grief, and this explains why 6 years later he's built up all these walls around his heart.
Right, he's trying to protect himself from ever feeling that pain again.
Exactly.
So now we're back in the present with Tate and Miles. Yep. Chapter 8 picks up where we left off with their arrangement.
Anyway.
And the physical connection is undeniable, but Tate's feelings are starting to grow deeper.
Even though she's trying to keep them in check.
Yeah, and Miles, despite his best efforts, he's drawn to her warmth and compassion.
It's hard to resist that.
It is. So, Chapter 9, their encounters start to feel a lot less casual.
The lines are blurring.
Totally. And then in Chapter 10, things get really intense.
Oh, what happens?
During a moment of intimacy, Miles accidentally calls out Rachel's name.
Oh, wow.
I know, it completely shatters the illusion of their arrangement, and it reveals how much pain he's still carrying.
Right, that must have been a huge blow to Tate.
It was a major turning point in their relationship.
So Rachel's name just kind of slips out.
Yeah, it's a big moment.
It's got to be tough for Tate to hear that.
Definitely. Chapter 11 dives into the aftermath.
Yeah.
Tate is devastated, of course, confused. She starts questioning everything about their relationship.
I mean, yeah, wouldn't you...
Totally, and she realizes that even though Miles insists on keeping things casual, he's still so hung up on Rachel.
Right, it's like his past is holding him hostage.
Yeah, exactly, and it's too much for her to handle.
So what happens next? Does she confront him?
She tries to in Chapter 12,
Okay.
but he just shuts down. He retreats further into himself.
Oh, he's pushing her away?
Yeah, he's terrified of hurting her, but he also doesn't know how to let go of his past.
He's stuck.
Completely. Then Chapter 13 takes us back to the past again.
Oh, back to Miles and Rachel.
Yep, and we see how deep their love really was, but also all the challenges they faced because their families didn't approve.
Forbidden love. It's always so complicated.
It really is, and it makes you understand why Miles is so guarded in the present.
Makes sense.
Then we're back to the present in Chapter 14.
All right, so where are we now with Tate and Miles?
Well, Tate's reaching her breaking point.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She realizes she can't keep waiting for him to open up.
Right. She has to take care of herself.
Exactly. She decides to move out of her brother's apartment.
Wow, that's a big move.
It is. She's setting boundaries.
Good for her.
And chapter 15 shows Miles struggling with her decision.
So he's finally realizing what he's losing.
Yeah, he's heartbroken, but he's still so afraid to face his own demons.
It's like he's pushing her away even though he doesn't want to.
Classic self-sabotage. His fear of love is winning.
So does he just let her walk away?
Chapters 16 and 17 introduce some new characters.
Okay, who are they?
We meet Ian Miles' best friend.
Yeah.
And he gives Miles a much-needed reality check.
He's like, what are you doing, man?
Pretty much. And then there's Cap, an elderly neighbor.
Interesting.
Yeah, she offers Miles wisdom and support, encourages him to open up to love.
So they're both trying to help him?
They are. They're like guides on his journey.
So does he listen? Does anything change for him?
It takes time. But chapter 18 shows his internal struggle.
He's really going through it.
Yeah, he misses Tate so much, but he's still trapped by his past.
It's a tough battle.
And then there's this turning point in chapter 19. Miles has this chance encounter with a young boy and his mother at the grocery store.
Oh.
And the boy reminds Miles of his son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it unlocks this wave of grief and regret, but also this profound realization.
What does he realize?
He sees the love between the mother and son, and it hits him that he's denying himself that same joy by closing himself off to love.
That's a powerful moment.
It is, and it finally motivates him to confront his past and choose a different future.
So what does he do?
Chapter 20 ends with Miles making a decision. He's going to fight for Tate.
He's not giving up.
Nope, he knows he messed up, but he's determined to win her back and build a healthy relationship.
So he's taking a leap of faith.
He is, but winning Tate back isn't going to be easy.
Right. She's been hurt.
Yeah, and chapter 21 shows Miles taking the first step by being honest with Tate about his past.
Wow, that takes courage.
It does. He tells her everything, the pain he's been carrying, and hopes that by being vulnerable, he can earn her trust and forgiveness.
Honesty, that's got to be the first step.
Absolutely, but it's only the beginning.
So Miles has finally told her everything.
He has.
But is that enough?
Well, chapter 22 shows Tate's reaction, and it's a mix of emotions.
I bet she's feeling all kinds of things.
Totally. She's hopeful, but also apprehensive.
Right, because words are one thing, but actions.
Exactly. She needs to see that he's really changed.
So does he prove himself?
Chapter 23 shows Miles stepping up. He starts going to therapy
Okay, that's good.
to work through his past trauma, and he makes a conscious effort to be more open with Tate.
He's putting in the work.
He is. Chapters 24 and 25 show him continuing to earn back her trust.
So he's consistent.
Yeah, he respects her boundaries, but he also shows her that he's changed.
He's not the same Miles anymore.
Nope, he's learning to be present and emotionally available.
That's what she needs.
It is, and Tate starts to let down her guard.
She sees that he's serious.
Chapter 26 shows them slowly rebuilding their connection.
So they're finding their way back to each other.
They are, and it's not just about the romance. Well, chapter 27 shows Miles also reconnecting with his best friend Ian.
Oh, right. Their friendship was kind of strained.
Yeah, Miles had really withdrawn, but now he's rebuilding that bond too.
He's healing on multiple levels.
Exactly, and chapters 28 and 29 show this new sense of peace and happiness in his life.
He's not running anymore.
Nope, he's embracing the present, and he realizes that he wants to spend his life with Tate.
I figured that was coming.
And then chapter 30 brings the big romantic gesture.
He proposes.
He does, and it's heartfelt and sincere. He acknowledges everything they've been through and promises to always cherish her.
So what does she say?
She says yes,
Yay.
but their journey isn't over yet.
Oh, right. There's still more to come.
The last few chapters deal with Miles facing his fear of fatherhood.
Because of what happened with his son.
Yeah, it's a deep-seated fear, but with Tate's love and support, he confronts it.
That's got to be tough.
It is, but the book ends with a beautiful epilogue set 2 years later.
Okay. Tell me everything.
Miles and Tate are married, they have a baby daughter, and Miles is a loving husband and devoted father.
Wow. He really came a long way.
He did. He's finally at peace with his past and embracing a future filled with love.
So ugly love ends on a happy note.
It does. It's a reminder that even after a heartbreak, healing is possible and love can conquer all.
It's a powerful message.
It really is. And it's what makes Colleen Hoover's books so captivating. They remind us that even messy, complicated love can lead to beautiful endings.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, our deep dive into ugly love, a story that will stay with you long after you finish the last page.